All right, welcome back to Hakka Socks, the podcast, episode 199. Today on the show, the big debate is tonight. Wait until you hear the embarrassing way Kamala Harris prepared for it. Then, some celebrities are saying nice things about Trump. Is this the win we think it is? I'll explain. Then, we have a new nightmare trans family that just acquired a baby in this week's Cringe of the Week. And last but not least, the Haitians are here and they're eating your pets. All this and more, it's Hakka Talks, the podcast, episode 199, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
Hakka Talks, the podcast, featuring Richard Grabboy.
All right, 1 for 1 on the intro, as always. Guys, I'm very excited to tell you about a new show-watching sponsor that is one of the coolest businesses we've ever shouted out, Charter Oak Digital. Do you have family photos, VHS tapes, film, or audio recordings sitting in a box somewhere collecting dust, maybe in your attic? Well, I have good news for you. Charter Oak Digital digitizes your family's keepsakes in a safe way so you can share your memories with family and friends in a digital format for forever. Now, you might be saying, Fleckus, how can I trust these people with my precious family collections? Well, Charter Oak Digital has done this for over 10,000 families and even for big organizations like the Smithsonian Museum. They've digitized over 1 million photos, over 100,000 hours of video and film, and thousands of hours of voice recording. And in 10 years, they've never lost one piece of their client's property. So whether you have a shoebox of old photos or an expansive archive that covers generations, preserve your family's history today. Scan and digitized with Charter Oak Digital. These guys are great. It's a family-owned operation. It's a very small, trustworthy team that's going to help you at every step of the process. They have a 100% success rate. CharterOakDigital.com is the website. Use code RETRO so show watchers can get 20% off. Go there now and make your family keepsakes last a lifetime. CharterOakDigital.com is the website. Retro is the code. Let's get into housekeeping. All right. Thank you to Charter Oak Digital for sponsoring.
Thank you, Charter Oak Digital.
It's very important. It's a good sponsor. They're show watchers, and also it's important to get your heirlooms and photos and VHS tapes digitized.
You're right. Absolutely.
That's cool. And you can send them to everyone, and then everyone can get a copy instead of just having it in one box somewhere. All right. We have a great show today.
Yeah.
Not going to lie. We have a good one. Tonight's the debate, obviously.
Pivotal moment. Absolutely pivotal moment.
It's going to be a good one.
Kamala's been tanking in the polls for a little while. Nate Silver, every time he makes a little update, Trump's inching ahead. So really, Kamala has to overperform in order to make a leap, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, but we'll get to that section when we get to it. First things first, I was permanently banned off TikTok.
Your account was permanently banned. Fleckus on TikTok. What'd you have, 70,000 followers or something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
We were working our way up, just posting podcast clips, and Fleckus tells me, oh, I got banned. And I go, what happened? Did they tell you? Did you get any videos deleted? And he was like, yeah. So he never told me.
I don't fully know what happened. People are asking what they can do to help. Join Bonusland, FleckusTalks.com, and support our sponsors. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
We're going to keep fighting.
We lost an arm, a great arm of the beast.
Exactly.
So.
But we're going to keep grinding. It's not going to stop us. First story of the day, Joe Biden on vacation. The numbers are out. Can you read the headline, please?
Yeah, Biden takes 48 years worth of vacation in 3 years, and that's based on Americans' average of 11 vacation days a year, and Biden has spent 532 days on vacation in less than 4.
So 532 days on vacation in less than 4 years, which is about 1.5 vacation days in less than 4 years, which is about 40% vacation days.
Yeah.
And as you know, 40% is basically 50%, which is half.
Yep.
So Biden spent half of his term on vacation.
And he goes to the same shitty little beach every time. He just chills on the beach.
Yeah.
He's not really doing much. It's not like, oh, Biden went to Tahiti and then Biden went to the Galapagos Islands. It was an excursion. He just goes to the Delaware beach and like does old man falling asleep on the beach.
He just sleeps there and his wife reads a book.
Yeah.
And everyone said, oh, Joe Biden, he should, not run in 2024 and he should just enjoy his remaining years. That's what he's been doing the whole time.
Yeah. That's
He's
nothing
already
new.
been doing that. It was a full hustle con job.
And exactly. And these are the same people, the same media ignoring this who did the Trump played golf again today and like multiple groups, like world leaders play with him on the front nine and then like American businessmen are with him on the back. But yeah, Joe Biden, not a peep out of them. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, they used to really give us trouble for that. And then for context, Reagan and Obama both took about 11% vacation. So that's like reasonable, one from each side, 11%. Joe Biden, 40% vacation.
Crazy.
Good con. It's a good job. It's
Yeah.
a good op. All right. The debate is tonight. Like we said, it's going to be lit, as we know. Here's something that we mentioned in the intro. Very embarrassing prep technique from Kamala. She has a Trump impersonator so she can practice for the debate.
We know that Vice President Kamala Harris, she is in her hotel in Pittsburgh. They've got the lights as if it's in a studio. They've got the stage. They've even brought in somebody who's dressed and acting like the former president. And then we know that the former president himself is just having sort of informal policy discussions from what we understand in preparation for Tuesday.
So embarrassing.
I wonder I want to see a picture of that so bad.
Me too. And I was kind of like imagining they have like a Putin impersonator, a Kim Jong-un impersonator, a Trump impersonator, a UN conference table replica.
Yeah.
And I was going to say it's like kind of like Halloween at the White House.
Uh-huh.
But it's more like that show Veep.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that show Veep.
Yeah. Who's that? Is that Megyn Kelly or is that the Megyn Kelly impersonator? You know?
Exactly.
Bringing them in one by one, the checkout line for checking in if she wins, like getting into the Oval Office. It's like, okay, Kim Jong-un, you're not until 3. What are you doing here? And he's like, oh, man.
They're all just talking to each other in the lobby.
And this is the same woman who did the, she does a lot of this, like, situational preparation where she wanted to drink the 2 glasses of wine and prep the conversation at that donor dinner. We covered on the podcast.
That's her go-to because she's like an anxious person, which is like that's disqualifying in itself. It's like you clearly aren't qualified. You can't handle it. You're trying to practice like the little part of just like interacting. Talk about like trying to get something done or understanding everything and knowing what you can concede on and making a deal in live time if you were going to have like the business meeting dinner.
Yeah.
And
the social situation itself is the hurdle.
Yeah.
And then comes like the details after that, right?
Yeah. So we have some insight here. Raheem had a good tweet about what she's planning on doing.
Well, he said, as I've been saying, she doesn't want the mics unmuted so Trump can interrupt her. She wants them unmuted so she can do the finger snapping, neck bobbing, I'm speaking now bullshit she did with Mike Pence. And we have a video of that if you guys need to.
Well, let's get but Susan, this is important.
Susan,
I want to
have to
add,
weigh in
but
here.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm
weigh
speaking.
in.
Yeah, the I'm speaking. That's what she's going to go for. She's going to try to get like a memeable moment.
Yeah.
That's like how her audience understands, like her stupid audience. They're going to understand memeable moments, like the 3-second clip right there. She's going to try and get one of those, and then it'll be a W.
She could get mopped up the entire debate on policy, but as long as she gets one of those that like Sexy Red can tweet, then it's a dub, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then she also there were some rumors that she was asking for like a podium to stand on, like a little box, so that Trump wouldn't height mog her. Did you see that?
That's what Mike Bloomberg did.
I know, Lil Mike.
When he wanted to go tall like Beto.
I know, he really did. And so I think that was also denied because it's just, you're dealt what you're dealt. You can't just boost yourself up. So she wanted a couple concessions, hasn't gotten either of them, and we'll see how it goes, right?
Yeah, and my prediction is she's going to make it about being a black woman and like bringing the right perspective that we need to make a change because the old way is what got us to where we're at.
Yeah.
Even though Democrats have basically been in charge for the last like 20 years, minus Trump, and Dick Cheney just endorsed her.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like she'll pretend that she's not part of that, and like we need this going forward change. But yeah, that's kind of how I see it playing out. She's gonna try to get a meme moment, and then she's gonna be offering a new perspective that's not the old guard's issue.
Yeah.
Whether
that's true or not doesn't matter. She's going to say it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we're heading fully into our politics section now. First things first, we've been trying to help our boy JD Vance, as you guys know. And I have a bad feeling he's not coachable. I like JD Vance. I support him. I want him to do great. I believe he can. But he's showing me that he's not coachable. There's a new article.
Yeah, JD Vance beats heat in San Diego swimming pool, wears shirt into water.
Come on, man.
57 days till the election. You couldn't just not hit a pool, JD?
Yeah. It's like, I want to maybe do this little social experiment, JD Vance. Pretend everyone is watching every single thing you do, and they're going to interpret it as negatively as possible, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah.
Pretend that's what's going on.
Pretend, and then that might match reality, JD.
That might be exactly what's happening.
And then again, husky guy, husky childhood, shirt in the pool. Maybe some Rust Belt voters can relate to that. Maybe it's endearing.
I have some insight here, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I was a husky kid who maybe at times could have been self-conscious about going in the pool.
Okay.
When there's girls around, maybe.
Of course.
Wearing a shirt, that's never the way.
Yeah, you have to own it. You have to own being a little rotund.
Even if you're fat. Mm-hmm. Once you put the shirt on and it floats weird in the pool, it's like you're losing in front of everybody.
Exactly.
So never a shirt on situation unless you were to get a emergency room level sunburn.
Yeah, poison ivy, sunburns, a medical ailment.
Maybe he's got a new sick tattoo or something.
Maybe he's shredded and he wanted to hide that. He wanted to look like an everyman and he's shredded. He's on TRT.
All right, so we like you, JD Vance. We're just kidding. We support you. You don't need to wear the shirt in the pool.
Yeah. No, I mean, JD's strengths are like going on Twitter and talking deeply about piece-by-piece policy issues. Like, he'll reply to some leftist and go, here's the reason we want this. Here's the reason we want this. Those are his strengths.
Yeah.
Maybe just don't go swimming. 58, 57 days, I don't remember the exact number. It's coming down to crunch time, right?
You don't need to go in the pool.
Don't give him an excuse.
All right, moving on. We have a new old Kamala clip that resurfaced about voter fraud. It's very insightful.
We are talking with them about the fact that it is probably best that you do not have your election system connected to the internet, because that will create greater vulnerabilities. And then look at where we are now in this year of our Lord 2018. We're talking about paper ballots, but that actually might be one of the smartest systems. Going back to, a day when we could have something tangible that we can hold on to, because Russia cannot hack a piece of paper like they can.
Yeah. So
she was spitting.
She's cooking. You don't say.
But that was when Trump was in charge, and then Russia was only helping him, right?
Exactly.
2018 midterms.
2018, before the 2020 election. And she was being real. She was being honest about that. It is a real threat, having your election machines attached to the internet, of course. But that was before Kamala was fully brought into the fold.
Yeah.
She later ran in that primary and got less than 1%. So they didn't really, it made sense that she was being honest of hey, this is kind of a sketchy thing. And then once they bring you into the fold, then you realize the voter fraud is for you.
You never bring it up again.
And you never bring it up again. You never have to. And you are kind of relying on it.
Yeah.
And this happened to Joe Biden in 2007 before Obama took office as well. We have a clip here.
How are you going to keep it from us being able to be in a position where you can manipulate the machines, manipulate the records? The one way to do that is, I think we should pass a federal law mandating that the same machines with paper trails be mandatory for every federal election.
There you go.
So that's Biden 4.0. I think there's been 7 or 8 iterations since then.
That was one of the better bots.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good era.
That bot could think.
But yeah, so that was kind of you can tell both of those people are talking from a place of I don't know who can hack in or who can control it. And then now it's us.
Yeah. Hey, you be the president.
Yeah.
Oh, Kamala, you're up. You did less than 1%, but now that you brought into the fold, you're polling neck and neck with Trump.
Exactly.
So once they bring you in and you're one of their assets and one of the deep state's hitters, the voter fraud goes away.
They don't bring it up.
Shh, quiet. Exactly. All right, speaking of polls, Krasenstein, he tried to do another one.
Yeah.
He tries every week.
Who are you voting for in 2024? Kamala Harris, prosecutor. Donald Trump, felon. 73% Trump. So, I mean, I have to address, though, Krasenstein might be pulling a number on us. He gets paid for impressions. Everybody on the Trump side retweets this to dunk on him. We have to. We can't let Kamala win a poll. Krasenstein's getting paid from us, though.
That's not bad.
So
that gets a lot of engagement. So Krasenstein's taking the money at the expense of right-wing engagement.
Yeah, he's taking the money and taking humiliation at the same time. So we know what he doesn't care about. He doesn't have standards, right?
He likes the cash.
Yeah, he likes money.
All right, our next clip, and this is, I'm not being black-pilled here.
Okay, I thought you were a little bit, but make your case.
I talked to Rat Boy about this the other day. The Rock was talking to Patrick Bet-David, and he had some positive things to say about Trump. Let's let it play.
He used to come watch me wrestle all the time, Madison Square Garden. It was great. First time I saw him, he said, "Let me see the eyebrows." Got it, there it is. That's cool. So he was a fan. He watched you as a fan. Oh, yeah. That's cool. He used to come to Madison Square Garden all the time. Big. Whether you love Donald, you don't love Donald, it doesn't matter. Tried to assassinate him. There's no room for that. And despite it being who we were in that moment, I still believe in my core that is not who we are as a country.
All right.
Yeah.
So he said some positive things. He obviously disavows any political violence, the attempted assassination. And if he does this as it is, this is a positive thing. In my opinion.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't endorse Trump or later endorses Kamala, I think it's a psyop.
Okay.
Because if it's Rosie O'Donnell or Kathy Griffin, of course they hate Trump. They're always going to hate Trump. It's not going to move the needle. But if The Rock, who is maybe a billionaire at this point, A-list celebrity, massively paid, kind of in on it if you had to pick a guy who's in on it, someone who's that popular and that rich. And then if he comes out and says, oh, I'm a rational guy, I'm a successful businessman, I'm a great actor, I'm a patriot, I'm completely reasonable, Trump's not so bad. Got to vote for Kamala, though. If he were to do that and endorse Kamala, this would actually move the needle, and then people would look and go, oh, I guess you can be normal and reasonable and think about it and like America and still think Trump's not so bad, but voting for Kamala is the move. So I'm going to watch him closely. If he doesn't endorse Trump, that's kind of empty words in my opinion. If he does endorse Trump, great. We love it. We needed that. But if he were to endorse Kamala, this becomes a psyop.
Okay, and that's fair. And I don't think he's going to. And I'll offer the alternate perspective here just because that's the way this podcast works. I think people are tired and there's a certain political fatigue, right? And somebody like The Rock, who in 2016... Trump, they called him a threat then. They called Trump a threat in 2020. There was a whole George Floyd thing where people had to speak out. There was a COVID thing where people had to speak out. And I think celebrities are tired of getting it wrong and then being tricked into saying, this is the be-all, end-all moment. I have to speak out right now, right? They get pressured from their agent, from a manager, from a studio head, from anybody. Those type of celebs, they get pressured, and now it's like, guys, you've had me do like 8 dumb things in the last 10 years. I'm done. Trump's okay. He used to be a fan of Madison Square Garden. Kamala, whatever. I think people are reaching a fatigue point where they're certainly not putting their reputation on the line for some new candidate who just popped up, and they're kind of like doing a wiping their hands and letting people go whichever way they want.
I hope so.
That's what I think, and unless he comes out and endorses Kamala, that's the way I'm reading the situation, right?
I hope so, and I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. Like it's closer to you, unless he endorses Kamala, and then it's like, send The Rock out there.
And the crazies are crazy, though. Mark Cuban's still going to be Mark Cuban. Certain people, it snapped him. Stephen King, he's gone. Mark Hamill, gone, right? All these guys, they're quacks. They'll do it whatever.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll keep an eye on him. Everyone keep an eye on The Rock. He's on high surveillance.
Okay.
As long as he doesn't endorse Kamala, good. That's a positive thing that helps us. But if he were to endorse Kamala, that actually is a bad thing, what he did there. Because no rational, reasonable person would ever vote for Kamala. Because he's kind of playing that role. It's like the Whoopi Goldbergs and The View, those ladies hating Trump doesn't move the needle. If he were to like Trump, but Kamala's the better choice, that's where shit gets crazy, Mr. Nadler.
Okay.
All right, next is we're getting into our migrants section. As many of you guys know, we're being replaced.
The Great Replacement used to be a conspiracy theory, and now it's kind of trending into like the first quarter of it. Or where would you say we are?
I think we're just got back from halftime.
Okay. All right.
And we're gonna finish the job.
We ate our oranges, and we got to buckle down for a fight.
Exactly. We have a graph here, and as you can see, that dip is 2020, right when COVID happened.
Yeah.
And then the recovery from COVID, like many other things, like the recovery from COVID is when they implement their new policies and new ways of life that are actually drastically different from before, and they start like their, what do they call it? The new agenda?
Yeah.
Or
New
their
World Order or whatever.
New way forward or whatever.
Build back better. They have a lot of euphemisms. They love euphemisms for it.
So they have that, and then so when you recover from that bad dip, who gets the recovery? You can see here in the graph.
Yeah, this is native versus foreign-born workers since 2020, where the great dip, and native-born workers haven't even reached our pre-2020 peak, and foreign-born are getting all the jobs. And this is something we've covered previously, but Zero Hedge says spot when the great replacement went from theory to fact. And that's kind of what we're pointing out. We're at that point where I said the first quarter, you say it's past halftime. We're deep in it, and we're going to explore that more in our migrant thing. But this was from September, and then we're getting updated data now. Foreign-born workers, whether they're legal or illegal, are getting all the jobs, right?
Yep. And can you read this tweet with some more context?
In August, 635,000 immigrants, both legal and illegal, gained a job. Meanwhile, 1.325 million native-born Americans lost their job. Since pre-COVID, native-born workers have lost 2 million jobs. All of the net job gains are immigrants.
Yep.
So again, this is like, oh yeah, our GDP goes up, but Uncle Bob doesn't have a fucking job. The factory's gone. And then Muhammad or, Gonzalez took it or something. So it doesn't really matter how your country is doing or how good the job numbers are if you're unemployed and it went to someone has no roots in this country, right?
Yep. And some people are gloating about this. There was an article called, the title was The March of the Non-White Babies.
Yeah, and this is based off a book. Demographer, is that how you say it? William Frey explains how minorities are poised to remap America. And so this is an article based on his book, and I think it was published by Bloomberg. And it says, by 2042, there will be no racial majority in the United States. Minorities, or groups that are thought of as minorities, will outnumber the white population. This isn't a small deal. It's going to be this century's baby boom, affecting everything from family structures to economic trends to, obviously, voting patterns.
And we have a graph here. The orange is white people, so it's kind of like capped out and starting to go down. And then the shade tan color is minorities, and that's going straight up.
Yeah.
And just to zoom out really quick as well, the whole idea of white versus minority is like a psyop in itself.
Yeah.
Because the whole world is minorities, if you look at it that way. There's billions and billions of non-whites.
There's 1 billion people in India right now.
So it's like if you look at it that way, it actually makes more sense that the way they use it is like the words they use are in a way to deceive you into thinking like, oh, white people are everywhere. White people are the majority. These other people need a chance. And then you add all the minorities together, and it's like white people are the majority.
Minority, you mean?
The minority, yeah.
White people are like 10% of global population. We just happen to have all the best and dopest countries and best industries and greatest inventions and
we're the
history.
majority of that, and then we need to work on becoming the minority in those best countries, and then they do their whole plan.
Yeah.
So
who are the non-white babies?
Yeah, let's see who we're getting replaced with. It must be good. Let's get into it. We have some people who are talking about the Haitians in Ohio. Yeah. Let's read a couple firsthand accounts and show some pictures.
Yeah, so we had covered this previously, but the extent of our coverage was 20,000 were in Springfield, Ohio. That's basically it. There wasn't firsthand reporting. There wasn't any source videos. We just knew they were dumping them in a heavily, and I think we mentioned when we first covered it, they dumped them in an area that voted very heavily for Trump. Springfield, Ohio was heavily in favor of Trump. And now some reports are coming out, and things aren't that great. Here's a post from a Facebook page from Springfield, Ohio. It says, warning to all about our beloved pets and those around us. My neighbor informed me that her daughter's friend had lost her cat. She checked pages, kennels, asked around, etc. One day she came home from work. As soon as she stepped out of her car, looked towards a neighbor's house where Haitians live, and saw her cat hanging from a branch like you do a deer for butchering, and they were carving it up to eat. I've been told they are doing this to dogs. They have been doing it at Snyder Park with the ducks and geese, as I was told that last bit by rangers and police. please keep a close eye on these animals.
So they're eating your pets. They're also catching the geese and ducks from the park and eating those.
Here's a picture of a Haitian man with his bountiful harvest in the middle of suburban Ohio.
Yeah.
Right.
And then remember JD Vance made fun of cat ladies? Mm-hmm. And then everyone got mad, and then like cat ladies united for Kamala against JD Vance and his comments. Where are the cat ladies now?
Cat ladies, PETA is another example. Cat ladies are silent.
Yeah.
PETA, shouldn't they be like, you can't kill a cat. You can't take a goose, right?
It's like, well, it's okay. And then remember, Trump back in the day said, we don't need people from shithole countries, right? And everyone got mad. Everyone defended him. Conan O'Brien, all the celebrities wore the Haiti shirt. Conan O'Brien went to Haiti and was like, this isn't so bad.
Rainn Wilson was one of those. There were a bunch of celebs. And that's what I was talking about with the celeb fatigue. And then they get proven wrong on Haitians. Oh, Haiti's beautiful. I'm wearing the shirt. I'm Bill Maher. Haiti's not a shithole. And then they wake up this morning and they read they're eating the cats. Okay. So I was wrong. So I'm not getting in on the 2024 thing, right?
I hope so. And then we had some Muppets that were like defending the Haitians or just the immigration in general. Can you read the two tweets?
Zaid Jelani says, people hunt ducks, so I can believe ducks. But Haitian cuisine does not include cats. Spreading this kind of rumor without any sourcing, they might as well be writing for Der Stürmer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
it's impossible to believe, right, that someone would eat a cat or a pet.
You see the guy holding the duck or the goose from the pond.
Yeah. And then that's another thing.
He's got a line.
Yeah. He draws the line. I would never do a cat. I will get the Canada goose.
That's your personal pet.
And then those geese are protected too. Like if you, a U.S. citizen, did it, like you're getting a felony and like a $10,000 fine.
Yeah.
They do it, and it's like, oh, you really shouldn't, but...
There's people who on the golf course like get attacked by a goose and hit it with a golf club and kill it, and then they get in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's another guy who's talking about this as well.
Fascists hate the food argument for immigration because it's something real people care about, and it's substantial. It's a substantial life improvement, unlike their arguments like racial purity or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm sure the Haitian cuisine in that 50,000 person Ohio town, I'm sure is going to be great.
Yeah. The food trucks are coming. Just give them a few months to get under their feet.
They wash their hands, I bet.
And then this is also one of the funny parts is this guy invents an argument for people. Like he says their arguments like racial purity or whatever. We've never said anything even close to racial purity. We're talking about like crime, rapes, murders, like this population that doesn't assimilate and then commits crime at a higher rate. Like, we don't even have to go to the racial
fundamental values. Yeah. Like, we don't even have to go to, Haiti's got a 67 average IQ.
We could.
And if you have that in America, you would be considered disabled and can't get the death penalty.
Exactly. You can't even be sentenced in jail. They like find mercy on you.
Can't go to regular school with a 67 IQ. We don't even go down that road.
Yeah. All right, you want to get into the extra stories of what's coming out of Springfield?
Yeah, let's keep it going.
So one angle of this, I heard some anecdotal evidence from a resident of Springfield that he just got the call that his car insurance went up because that area, that zip code, is experiencing a lot of accidents. And then how does insurance work? It gets spread amongst everybody. All their premiums rise up. Mm-hmm. And it seems to me that the Haitians are getting in a lot of car accidents, and particularly single car accidents, which is a particular type of car accident. It's not like you fender bendered someone, you turned at a light. It's like you lose control of the car and you just go off an embankment.
And you drive it into something.
Yeah, so here's a picture here of a car that like is up on knocked something over and is up on like an air conditioning unit, just like, and there's the guys who are driving it, totally unequipped to drive. I don't know how they got licensed or if they're driving illegally. But like single vehicle crashes are like 16-year-old girls driving for the first time and then like Haitian immigrants.
And they're going backwards and then they kind of like, and they just like floor it and drive right into the wall or whatever, into the bank.
Yeah, and then sadly, this is 11-year-old Aiden Clark is a big one who was on the way to school in Springfield, Ohio, and a Haitian immigrant drove into the school bus and the 11-year-old died. Aiden was killed at about 8:14 a.m. Tuesday, so like early morning, shouldn't be drunk, shouldn't be like an issue. A 2010 Honda Odyssey went left of the center line into the path of the oncoming bus. So a Haitian driver just goes across the line, kills an American kid. So very sad. Another story, I live near Springfield. A lot of this is anecdotal. reporting, like from people, firsthand testimonials.
But it is a very small town.
For sure. It's, what do we say, 50K?
50,000, and they added 20,000 Haitians.
Exactly. I live near Springfield. Most of my family lives in the city. Just wanted to say all this shit you're seeing isn't an exaggeration at all. The number of car accidents and hostile confrontations with locals is insane. My aunt walked into a women's restroom at the grocery store last month and was screamed at by 2 grown naked men taking a sink shower. Friend of a friend got his car hit by one, no license or insurance, of course, and the little shit jumped out and started threatening him and demanding money. They are hostile invaders.
Yep, that is very true.
And not only are they driving around unlicensed and uninsured, but they're driving around to creep on your kids. Mm-hmm. This is another one. So, like, the same thing we've been covering where the Canadian guys, the Canadian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi guys are taking videos at the beach. Similar vibe here in Springfield. This story is from a Facebook woman. She says, my daughter was one driveway up on her bike, and these 2 men drove next to her and made a complete stop. One man was leaned completely back in his seat. As my dad ran off the porch to get her, they drove off. Within a 10-minute span, they creeped past 3 more times. I'm talking 10 miles per hour. My dad stopped them the 3rd time and asked them if they were lost. They said no. He then asked them why they were driving by looking at his grandkids, and the driver said, it's not your business if I'm looking at your grandkids. They had the nerve to creep past again, and I called the cops. This is a rental car, too. Be safe, Springfield.
Yeah.
So a lot of these stories are just being shared on their own Springfield Facebook page or like next door on Springfield. So it's just kind of reached the tipping point where it's getting into national media or like prominent Twitter accounts tweeting about it.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of stuff that's been happening the entire time in Springfield, right?
Exactly. And then the total number, so we have 20,000 in Springfield, and there's almost 140,000 total that have been here since the last few years, I believe.
Yeah. And
according to Fox.
Yeah, 138K is their number. And these people, they get flown in, you know? This is like they apply for asylum on the app, and then they get a flight to Middletown, anywhere, USA, right?
Yeah. And then you kind of wonder, well, who's responsible for this? There's a bunch of groups that are doing it. Kamala Harris has actually advocated for this exact thing. Let's let this clip play.
That is why, also, starting with our administration, we gave TPS, temporary protected status, to Haitian migrants, 55,000. And then more recently, we extended temporary protected status to over 100,000 Haitian migrants for that very reason, that they need support, they need protection.
They need support and protection. And we need support and protection from them.
Yeah, an elderly woman in Springfield, Ohio gets 0 protection, right?
We need the Haitians here. And then we have another update as well when it comes to like national versus local. Can you read this?
Yeah, this is just a broader point, right? Like when it comes to national versus local, you can't keep your head in the sand, right? This is a tweet that says, and the idea that you can retreat from national politics to focus on local affairs makes no sense when the federal government can dump 20,000 Haitian migrants into Smallville, USA. Local politics might be complicit or impotent, but it's the federal government bringing them in.
It's a good point.
So it comes from the top. It's top down. You can't just say like, oh, well, I'm running for school board and I'm going to make my situation better. What's this? 20,000 Haitians in a small, like semi-declining old industrial town? Great. What am I going to do here, right?
And I hate to keep making you read, Richard, but I found this online too about how Haitian people don't think the same way we do.
Okay. All right.
I almost said don't think. Well, we'll be the judge. Let's listen to this and see if it sounds like someone who can participate in a high-level society.
It has proven hard for me to appreciate exactly how confused the Haitians are about some things. Gail, our program director, explained that she has a lot of trouble with her Haitian office staff because they don't understand the concept of sorting numerically. Not just they don't want to do it or it never occurred to them, but after months and months of attempted explanation, they don't understand that sorting alphabetically or numerically is even a thing. Not only has this messed up their office work, but it makes dealing with the Haitian bureaucracy, harrowing at the best of times, positively unbearable.
Yeah. So that's when they get here and they start working jobs and they start assimilating into society, that's what you have to look forward to. They're going to bring it up and come with us to a higher society, or are they going to bring it down to a less organized, jumbled society?
Yeah. And then these guys, the same thing. they're getting food stamps and they're getting money and subsidized by the federal government and the local government. And then they're still eating the cat. They're still eating the goose. So they don't want to file things numerically or alphabetically. They're going to eat the small game. And they're not going to listen. That story reminds me of, like, I think it was somebody who went to visit some warlords in Africa. And he was like, why do you guys have all your AK-47 sighted to the maximum amount? And they were like, oh, that's more power. And it was like they're sighted in completely wrong and like can't aim anymore.
Just maxed it out.
Yeah.
And then we have a thing here from the government YouTube page, Springfield, Ohio government YouTube page, and it's a translation. So it says, Springfield City Public Transportation Guide. Gid Transpo Public Nonville Springfield.
It's in Creole. It's in the Haitian, the language that the Haitians speak.
We don't talk like that.
We don't do that here. And you can't add any value if you come to America speaking a language only, like, even if you all got airdropped into the same city, what good does that do? You're only going to talk amongst yourselves, and then all your conversations revolve around getting welfare or driving without a license or how to hustle the system. So it's not good, right?
But the good news is it's not just in Springfield, Ohio, and it's not just the Haitians. This migrant here in Queens, New York, caught a seagull, which I'm assuming he thinks is good eating.
Why do you have
Big
bird?
seagull.
Why do you
I
have...
catch you when she comes.
Let me have the bird.
But yeah.
I have the
But,
bird. I have the
You
bird.
gotta be tickled.
I know how to hold the bird. Let go of the bird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to show the?
No, the bird is not your bird.
Give me the bird. This is what you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Give me the bird. We've really gone back.
But these people are going to increase our GDP or something.
Yeah.
That's the argument, right? I don't know. Or
they're going to
trucks.
replace us.
Yeah.
And that's the good news. And then they're going to make everything really stupider and worse and more third world. And then the bad guys can control everyone easier if we're not all Chad normal people. We're just, I just need the money. I'll eat the bird. I'll catch the cat.
I need $1,400 a month and I'll vote for you.
Yeah. Literally their plan. And listen to Chuck Schumer basically say the quiet part out loud.
The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
And everyone claps and he goes, oh, or however many are undocumented here. And he says 11 million, which is a number they've been using forever. I actually found an NBC article from 2005 where they were referencing 11 million illegals here.
Zero growth since 2005, even though you've seen the charts under Biden.
20 years, and it's the same amount, or however many. And the however many is going to be 40 to 50 million.
I love that phrase, the or however many, which, like you said, is so many millions. And then if you don't even know who they are, how many there are, then how can you possibly argue for them to become citizens if you don't know anything about them? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's like something doesn't jive there.
Yeah.
And they don't care because they know that they'll net at least 60-40 voting-wise.
Exactly, and that's all they need to do. And then once they give everyone amnesty, they'll never have to run a real election again.
Yep.
And we actually have a clip here of people, new arrivals. So basically, Chuck Schumer says that we need to give whoever's here citizenship, a path to citizenship. You think that's going to discourage or encourage people from coming?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a politician. I couldn't make a guess.
And then the election is in 60 days or whatever.
Yep.
So if Trump wins, one side's not going to be allowed to be here. They're going to get deported. And then if Trump loses or they win however they win, everyone who's here illegally is going to get amnesty. You think people are going to be rushing the border now, as they have in the last year, up until the election to try and get here? Let's see. We have some people who are new arrivals.
Thank you. India. Where are you going?
California.
Thank you. You?
India. California.
Thank you. You?
America.
Thank you. Where are you going?
Said America.
California.
You? Where are you going?
Indianapolis.
Okay, thank you. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Michigan. Where are you from? ¿Dónde vienes? Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you from? Guinea. Where are you going, sir?
I'm going to New York.
Thank you, sir. You?
Thank you.
Where are you going?
Thank you.
Where are you going?
Thank you.
What state are you going to? And you?
Michigan, New York.
They all have a random place.
We need that?
We don't.
So it's getting bad, but however many are here, we need a path to citizenship. That's going to make everything better.
And I hope Trump really hammers this point during the debate tonight. Immigration's kind of the biggest deal ever. And that's a huge blunder. Getting all this Springfield, Ohio stuff coming out is actually a big damaging thing, right?
Yeah.
And if it spreads, that's like the exact antithesis of what Democrats want you to believe illegal immigration is, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And we spend a lot of time trying to point out examples of exactly that. So.
Yep. Well, don't get too down or too depressed. Moving on to the final page of housekeeping, which is the page I get to talk about whatever I want.
I can relax on this page. I only have to push back a little.
Make sure you guys use this opportunity to help us tickle the post, juice the algo, leave a like, leave a comment, then comment again, then start yapping. P.O. Box needs to be full, notifications need to be on, watch some old episodes. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, first things first. I, over the weekend, made homemade carpaccio. I got full off carpaccio.
Is that good for you?
I made a whole plate of it. And I don't know, it's something you usually get at a restaurant, but I went out and bought a meat slicer. I sliced it up myself, added some stuff, added some sauce to it, and I ate like pounds of carpaccio in one day.
There you go, buddy.
Isn't that pretty impressive? And the barrier to entry for homemade carpaccio is the meat slicer.
Yeah, the meat slicer opens up a lot of avenues.
It really does. And then I made probably 8 orders worth of carpaccio at a restaurant, which is $400 probably. And then the meat slicer and the filet mignon was $150. So I made like $250 off this. So even if I just ate it once, I'm making money.
Yeah, it's called Flecker's math, baby.
And like I kind of do this thing now where there's like meals I only get at restaurants because you kind of like are intimidated to do it yourself.
Yeah, like tartare.
Tartare, carpaccio, oysters, eggs Benedict. I'm doing it all. I'm learning it all. Eggs Benedict and oysters at home are next. It's going to happen. All right, next.
Oysters I let the professionals do.
Yeah, well.
You got to get a glove, a little meats, a little knife that shucks them. You know, let the professionals do that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, next. The real reason they want you at your job.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, can you read it, please?
They want you to get a job so you can't drive around for hours and notice the pattern.
Makes sense.
I mean, Springfield, Ohio, if you're driving to work, you almost wouldn't even see what was going on.
But if you're in a cubicle and there's walls all around you, all you can see is the wall.
Absolutely.
Can't notice anything.
All right, no pushback from me on that one.
All right, next. Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Jewish group Stop Anti-Semitism says Tucker Carlson may now earn title of Anti-Semite of the Year.
They're going to make that word mean nothing again, just like racism.
I'm tired of not being taken seriously.
Yeah, you should have gotten it.
When are we going to get our shot?
I don't think you're not even top 20. You don't even go hard.
All right, maybe I don't go hard enough, but we'll work on that. You guys know we've come a long way. All right, next, Bill de Blasio doing some sort of cryptic video.
He's putting coconut on pizza. And I think he's losing it. And he bites it from the back.
So this, in my opinion, is some Kevin Spacey cryptic message type shit.
Yeah, like that's sending a message to someone who's blackmailing him that he like won't take it anymore or something.
Yeah.
All right.
It's trying to tell us something. And it's kind of similar when Alex Soros posted the broken glass with a gunshot and then $47. And it was kind of like maybe a tip-off that they were going to try and go after Trump.
Okay.
So I think de Blasio's doing some sort of cryptic message, Kevin Spacey, cabal communication type shit.
Yeah, and then he later tweeted, "I eat pizza." So
you know what that means.
I don't know.
We all know what that means.
Yep.
All right, next. We got to go fast. We're running out of time. Michael Douglas.
No, Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. His real name is Michael Douglas, but because of SAG and when he first started out in the industry, you can't have 2 actors with the same name, so he became Michael Keaton, but now he wants to be Michael Douglas again.
Well, he wants to be Michael Douglas Keaton, I think, right?
Maybe.
He couldn't pick between Michael Douglas when he started. Yeah. I think he might go by, he wants to change his name to Michael Keaton Douglas now.
Michael Keaton Douglas.
Yeah.
So whose side are you on? Gordon Gekko or Birdman?
Yeah, I feel bad for Birdman. I feel bad for Beetlejuice. He, that's tough when someone comes first and they have your exact same name. I don't know how I would handle that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna side exactly like you said. I'm gonna side with him. I'm gonna side with Birdman, and that's coming from a guy who absolutely hates Beetlejuice. I will never watch that shit. I never have. I never will. I just hate that movie. There's 2 movies in my life that I absolutely hate no matter what. It's Monkey Bone and Beetlejuice.
How can you hate Beetlejuice if you've never seen Beetlejuice?
Why would I watch a movie I don't like? I hate that shit. All
right.
Well, I'm sitting there for an hour. Oh, I hate this. Oh, here I go. I hate this movie. I'm not going to watch that shit.
All right. That's the last thing? That's the last of your page of housekeeping?
Yeah. It doesn't make sense to watch a movie you hate.
All right, Beetlejuice.
All right, that's the end of housekeeping. Moving on to Cringe of the Week. Our first clip of Cringe of the Week is, I'm going to kind of spoil it.
Okay.
It's a gay Hakka dance.
Yeah.
Shit's so gay.
They're doing it too much. They did it for rugby matches. They're doing it like when you get, I guess, what is this, commissioned into like the military or something?
Yeah.
They overused it to the max.
And it's all about being tough and scary, but then you have girls doing it.
Yeah, and then look at this woman doing it.
Is this your favorite one?
Yeah, she's my favorite. This zoom in, like, you guys can have an argument. Oh, the Hakka's gay. Oh, the Hakka's cool. Oh, they're overusing it. It's really gay. I think we can all agree she shouldn't be doing this. She's twitching. I've seen a crack addict in LA do these same facial expressions.
Oh, she's crazy.
Yeah.
She might beat you up. And
they're doing it too much. They wasted it. They started, like, if they reserved this for once in a while and it was all these Samoan D tackles doing it, you know, those thick type, those Tongan types?
Those are the worst guys to go against.
They dig you out.
They're
you have
strong.
to double team them.
They squat like 650 without even really working out.
So they can do the Hakka. This girl, stupid faces. Someone was squeaking during that. You hear the squeaking?
I heard it.
So, I don't know.
Then you have the commander, the high up guy in the military, like losing his shit.
Yeah.
And like dancing around. It's like, you're in charge of whatever our version of nukes is. We
And-
probably don't have nukes. But like we got big bombs or a tank or something. You're in charge of that. And you're going, nah.
And this is an old, they say it's like an old tribal warfare military thing that they did. How many battles did they win? Who did they conquer?
Exactly. I don't celebrate conquered shit.
Yeah. All right,
moving on. Speaking of gay.
Yeah.
Dave Batista.
Yeah, he's working his way up to Hollywood A-list. He's getting movies like The Rock is these days.
Remember Chris Pine kind of was becoming a lady, and whether it's still in the works, the jury's still out?
Yeah, actually, I think your Chris Pine lady options expired worthless. So,
but I was close.
You were close, for sure.
I could have sold for a profit at one point, and I just kept holding. I'm a bag holder. But Batista, they're doing the same thing to Batista. He's all jacked or whatever, and now he looks like a lady.
He's
with
wearing
the pearl earrings.
lady glasses, like 4 pearl necklaces, and then like a Devil Wears Prada suit.
Yeah.
That's like Meryl Streep would wear that suit.
He looks like a Meryl Streep type.
And he lost, not to mention, he lost 60 pounds of muscle.
Maybe more, to be honest. And he became a vegan.
Is that what they said?
Yeah. And he became a vegan, and he did an interview in July about how he's been a vegan, and it's because of animal cruelty.
Yeah. Became a vegan. It might be code in Hollywood for, my doctor said if I took another cycle, my heart would explode.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I fall on the believing if he's vegan or not.
I think he became a vegan, and he lost all his muscles, which makes total sense. And now, if you go skiing and you get buried by an avalanche, Batista can't pull you out.
Yeah, there's no more superhero roles are gone. Now he's switching to dramatic roles where he's like a teacher and the kid is gay and
a highly thought out villain who's going to do mind games to you in a little lair, and he's sophisticated.
Yeah, his roles just went way down. So tough break for Batista.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Speaking of gay as well, Steph Curry.
Okay.
Steph Curry was explaining why he likes Kamala. Before we show it, I want to show you guys a little tip. I may have said this on the show maybe one time in the last 200 episodes.
Okay.
But when someone's lying and they're full of shit and they know they're full of shit, but they have to still deliver the lines, they kind of give it away like right here. There's a little crack in their smile.
Corner of the mouth.
Corner of the mouth, shit-eating grin smile where it's like, yeah, you know, Kamala, she's good. Like, of course she's good. She's so smart. And you can see it like right here, how I'm just like full of shit. He has that, and it's a giveaway. And I use this in my real life. Like when people are lying and they're full of shit and they don't believe what they say, but they have to say it, you can see their mouth gives it away in like a 1% little tip.
I've seen him catch people before too. This is not a bullshit tip. Usually he's more schizophrenic. I've seen him catch people and then admit to a lie immediately
and then
after
admit
this.
to it.
Yeah. So here's Steph Curry's version of that.
Obviously, endorsing Kamala is important for me, for my family.
Why? What are the issues you care about most?
Say what?
What are the issues you care about?
I just know from especially women's rights and thinking about, you know, what's at stake with this election, and understanding like we need to be in a position where women have the right to choose what's right for them, and that's at the top of the list for me. I have amazing women in my life who've, you know, been a huge inspiration to me. But knowing Kamala and having been around her, and I understand she's qualified for this job. She's, I think, representing what it means to be a great leader and being a decent human being in terms of representing our country the right way. So it's easy.
So you can see he's like trying to like hold back a smile.
There's
Or
a
he's
little
like,
twitchy.
Of course, I'm gonna vote for Kamala. And he's like got that fake smile, which he's like, just smile so you look normal, whatever.
Hit the line, smile, hit the line.
And then he's like talking about women's rights, so abortion.
Yeah.
Right? And then he says, I have like women in my life. He has a daughter, a baby daughter. So it's like you have to vote for Kamala because of women's rights, because your baby daughter might one day want to abort your grandchild.
Very inconvincing argument. Meanwhile, 20,000 Haitians airdropped. Meanwhile, monetary policy is nothing. Inflation's crazy. Our government prints it. We're deep in debt. All these tangible things that can actually make people's lives worse, but I don't want the women to think they're in the Handmaid's Tale.
Mm-hmm. I don't want the women in my life to lose their rights. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. It's really ugly. But I just wanted to point that out as a little tip for you guys. Whenever you see someone trying to hold back a smile and like they crack right here in the corner of their mouth, that's how you know they're full of shit.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Speaking of women's rights.
Yeah, speaking of women's rights, these gays, homosexuals, acquired a baby.
Our first travel together. We got the family. Hi, Kyle. Hi, baby. Do you see yourself in the camera? Oh, hi, Pat. Hi, Rebecca. Look at me, Rebecca. Hi. Where's Bian? Hi, Bian.
It's like when you go to Missouri to get a lab.
Yeah.
You know, you go fly and you pick up a dog and you come back.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
nice.
basically what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see.
You call the breeder. You're like, okay, shit, am I pulling the trigger? This is a $1,200 dog, but it's good lineage. I see.
Yeah.
And these twinks are now acquiring a baby.
And they got their lips done before the human trafficking.
Yeah. And these guys are, I think, hairstylists. They're big social media influencers.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's the American dream for the gay man. You take your prep, you do your hairstyle, you make it on a Bravo TV or make it big on social media, then you can afford a baby from Russia or something.
Yeah, exactly. And
very ugly.
This is no different than what Dave Rubin did.
It's pretty much the same. And didn't Dave have to give the baby back? Didn't the judge rule that Dave?
Well, as bonus landers know, if Dave Rubin gets into trouble with the tenant media Russia stuff, he'll have to return the baby.
Yeah, that's a judge. A judge ruled on that.
And I know what you guys are thinking. Should we go out and steal the baby back? No, I can't advise anyone steal these babies. And some people might be thinking, oh, well, it's better than growing up in an orphanage or whatever. This was a surrogate situation.
Yeah.
It was the one guy.
Baby was created for this.
It wasn't saving some kid from Rwanda or something. They made a baby. They probably made multiple babies and then picked the one they want in a horror beyond your comprehension.
Yeah, it was a eugenics scenario where they went shopping for a surrogate mom and then used a particular sperm that they liked that they thought would mesh, and now their genetically modified created baby is on a flight home to LA or Nashville or wherever the fuck these freaks
My
live.
husband's sperm. What the fuck are you talking about? Sick
What?
fuck. Dave Rubin's involved in that.
I know. It's crazy.
He's included. All right, moving on. That was a brief cringe.
Yeah.
But we had a long housekeeping. We have so much stuff with the debate and stuff.
Yeah.
We're moving on to Urban Decay. It's going to get a little worse. First clip is a woman interacting with a cop, and it kind of escalates. Look how it goes.
Here, show me your hands. Is there anybody else in the car? Step back to the sound of my voice. Step back to my voice. Step back. You better step back to the sound of my voice and do it now. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Turn around and face the other way. Walk backwards to the sound of my voice. Walk backwards to the sound of my voice. Then you better do what I tell you to do. Walk backwards. Walk backwards. Walk backwards to the sound of my voice. Walk backwards to the sound of my voice.
And she takes off. So you might be looking at that and you might say, well, she should have complied, but this cop was kind of on a power trip. He needs to chill out. And a lot of times these clips are posted exactly like this, and everyone sides with the person who's being approached by the cop, and they're posted without context. So we're going to provide a little more context. That girl was doing 122 and a 55.
I'd expect to be pulled over if I was doing that.
The cop was pulling her over, and she didn't pull over for miles. She drove for miles. Then she eventually did pull over, and he suspected that she was drinking.
Of course.
So if you're going 122 and a 55, you go to jail for that.
Of course.
That's like well beyond the rule of, I don't know what the...
Reckless endangerment. It's beyond speeding.
So you're going to jail. That's the crime. It's not like, oh, you have a warrant, which could be the case too, or we're suspecting that you might be doing something. You already broke the law in a way that would send you to jail normally. You're doing 122 and a 55. Yeah, the cop's going to yell at you and be mad.
Yeah, and then the simplest instructions ever, which seemed to confuse her, turn around and step back towards the sound of my voice, and she slowly said, it's an emergency, I'm running out of gas, and I'm terrified, just to make the decision to go, sit down, go, drive off. Crazy decision-making, right?
Exactly, but when you're maybe not the smartest person, and then CNN and Cory Booker on TV holding back tears saying, white cops are hunting us down.
Al Sharpton cries about it.
And you're getting, we're getting shot in our beds. And then you think that, and then you go, oh, man, I'm pulled over. And instead of applying the context that you're like, oh, I just went 122 and a 55, all you're doing is living in that moment right there where you're like, oh, shit, this is one of those angry cops who wants to kill me.
He's going to execute me. Because I've just watched a little too many, you know how kids watch too much cartoons?
Yeah.
They watch a little too much imaginary police stuff, you know?
So. May think that, a cop's pulling me over, he's probably trying to kill me, instead of he pulled you over because you're going 122 miles an hour.
He wants to execute you on his body cam.
But everyone sees the clip and they assume, the cop's in the wrong, this poor lady getting treated badly, and then cops are scared to even do their job after. All right. Good. I'm glad we applied some context to that.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to know the full picture before you... I mean, she was wrong either way. Couldn't respond to one direction, but...
And I always wondered, it's like, if you guys think cops are hunting you down and wrongfully imprisoning you...
Wouldn't their numbers be fucking killer?
That's what I'm saying.
Wouldn't their numbers be so high?
And then wouldn't you perfectly comply so you could sue them?
Yeah.
Oh, step backwards. Okay. Yeah, nothing. I was doing nothing. And then you yelled at me like crazy. You'll get things in your favor if you truly did nothing wrong.
For sure.
All right, let's get to our next situation. A judge released a repeat offender, and what happened?
Yeah, far-left Democrat activist Judge David Carpenter let a murder suspect, Rakeem Cunningham, out on a $30,000 bond for a shooting he carried out in 2022. Over Labor Day weekend, Cunningham shot and killed 3 more people while out on bond awaiting trial. This is the kind of justice you can expect with a Kamala presidency. Obviously, the guy was probably appointed by Democrats with that sort of restorative justice low bond thing. And we've kind of had this conversation before. Rakeem Cunningham, he kills somebody. He shoots somebody. And then you have him, and he's in an orange jumpsuit, and he's in cuffs, and you go, wow, this is a low impulse control, dumb shooting guy.
He gets violent over nothing.
Yeah.
He can't control his impulses.
Should I let him go, or should I keep him, or is there a chance, or do I need to take into consideration his emotions and how blah, blah, blah. And then he goes out, and then the dumb impulsive shooting guy does dumb impulsive shooting guy again, this time 3X, 3 people.
Yeah, so which is expected.
Yeah, it's like you knew I was a snake when you picked me up, right?
But the judge went to law school.
The judge got like a good SAT score, and he got into a top 20 law school, and
he's smart and measured.
He did all this stuff, and he knows about the human condition and the social contract, and he read law books.
He knows all the rules, and he put his time in to become a lawyer and then a judge.
He's overseen 10,000 cases, you know?
And then he is the one who thinks that this guy should go. So it's like, what's his excuse? The other guy is going to get violent again. He's stupid.
Yeah, he's a low IQ, violent guy. Okay, I get it. We had you and we should have locked you up. The judge is the one I have a bigger problem with here.
Yeah.
This guy was an animal. You had him in your grasp. Cops like probably ran, tracked him down, questioned people, did first 48 interrogations. All this work just for him to be let out and then kill 3 people.
Yeah, the judge is smart.
Yeah.
What's his excuse?
We need to start holding some judges accountable. Another
agree.
thing that's interesting that I'm seeing more and more, the Georgia trans shooter kid thing, the school shooter, they're now charging that shooter's dad with crimes. And that's going to be a trend that you're seeing more and more, especially with white suburban type shooters. When are the urban inner city welfare moms going to get charged for the shooting up a glick with a switch?
That's a good point.
There's no parity between those. It's just like if you're affluent or white or know better, then you're going to get charged. So it's just a trend that obviously is going to get worse.
I'm cooking here, and this is a little off topic.
Yeah, we don't have assets for this. This is all just anecdote.
But if they're going to arrest the trans shooter's dad.
Yeah. I think he gave him the gun. I don't know all the details, but it's just they're looking to arrest dads.
Maybe that will open the door and be a slippery slope in a good way for arresting the parents of trans kids.
Ooh.
So if you have a trans kid, it's like your parents are going to jail because they did something messed up.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
I agree.
All right, next is slightly uplifting. It's like funny to me, but it's actually sad. This guy is a Modelo thief, and it looks like he's been doing this a lot.
Oh my, come on.
One more time.
Damien, why would you, see?
He's got one shoe.
That's crazy, but record you.
He's got one shoe on.
Just shake the spot once again.
They know him by name, so he's clearly robbing this place, and he says, one more time.
And that's the extent of it. Like, dude, you got to make it hard for these guys. If they can come in and get 2 cases, that's like he's shopping. He's not shoplifting. He's shopping. He likes Modelo. There's no resistance at all other than a shaming woman filming him a little bit. And you think the guy with one shoe pulling his pants up, stealing 2 cases of Modelo cares about shame? He does not. So this, Bert Kreischer. This is what happened, Bert.
Maybe you should talk to him.
Yeah, what happened in L.A.? What happened?
Do you need money?
Yeah.
I'll give you $50.
No, that's what happened, Bert. I don't know if you knew that or not. I just wanted to follow up.
All right, we're moving on to Uplifting Gold. Don't get too down or too depressed. We're moving on to Uplifting Gold. We're running out of time.
These videos will go in bonus land.
With a lot of good bonus land stuff. FluckusTalks.com is the website. We were getting more bonus land viewers than ever. People are loving it. We're so grateful. We're covering great clips with so much going on up until the election. We have so many good things to get to.
Yeah.
So we're going to be covering some Urban Decay in bonus land and a bunch of other stuff too, some more Haitian stuff as well. And then there's also a story out of Canada of a old lady who's homeless.
Yeah.
Because they're giving all the money. She's living in a tent because they're giving all the money to the illegals.
Yep.
All right, Uplifting Gold. Our first clip is the new game watching method. This bar, it's not the Sphere, right?
I don't think so.
It's a bar, I don't know where, but they have like this huge mega screen, and look at the view people get when they rent a booth.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane. So these people are all, that's a screen, and then these people are all sitting somewhere? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That's the future.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Let's go to the next guy.
I like football. We joke about not gambling, and if you're broke, don't be a gambler and all that stuff. But, football is still cool. And They're making some innovations in that shit.
Yeah, this is the first time. Like, that's an innovation. And then last episode, we showed the punt, the fake punt.
Yeah.
Innovation season. All right, speaking of innovation season, this guy finds old blankets with cool designs that are just kind of like gross and in the back of like
thrift stores
and stuff, and he's turning them into clothes.
All right, he's got copyright music, but you see it. It's like an old quilt. And he's cutting out the pattern. And, that's, sewing machine, $150 for that sewing machine. A little know-how.
And this is a business.
Oh, yeah.
You could charge $300, $400 for that.
Oh.
I'd wear that.
Yeah, I'd wear that too.
You think if I send him my dimensions, he can put something together like this?
No, too much fabric. You need 2 quilts.
That was a big quilt. That's not even funny.
Oh, all right, Mr. Carpaccio boy.
All right, that was
not
good.
funny. Are
That's
you sure?
Sick, though.
Are you sure it's not funny?
All right, this is the most uplifting part of Uplifting Gold. We're going to tell you that now. This guy, he explains it.
Oh, I love America.
Yesterday evening, when my dad and I were unloading the horses to get ready to go on a ride, a couple from Taiwan who were visiting approached us, and from their reaction, I don't think they'd ever even seen a horse in person before. So we put them on Sunny and let them take a few steps around the parking lot. I don't think I've ever seen anyone more excited by anything in my life. So take a look, see what you think.
Oh, bigger brother. He's gonna move. Oh, stop it. Yeah.
He likes it.
He likes it.
It's a very special experience. Oh, I love America. Now your turn. I love you. You got one. You're ready. Stand up. Stand up. Okay. 你要先站起来平衡一下。他是让你先站起来平衡一下，先站起来，才能平衡那个马。马这样走才可以。
Isn't that nice?
That is nice.
And then it's 2 people on a horse. We don't
Made their
need,
day.
We don't need 50 million of them.
Yeah.
We can do 2. We'll show them a horse.
I think those were tourists from Taiwan. I don't think they were.
And then they go home.
And then they go home and they say, oh, America's so good.
We don't need to say, oh, why don't you extend the stay? Here's money. You can live in the hotel. You can just stay here forever. Here's health care. Send your kids to our schools. Oh, they don't speak English and they can't communicate? That's okay. The other kids, they'll eat shit.
Yeah. I thought this was uplifting gold. You ruined it.
It is uplifting. It's uplifting because that's how we should interact with foreigners.
I agree.
It should be 2 people who never saw a horse before, and a nice rancher goes, I'll show you the horse. And they go, wow, what an experience. And then they go home to Taiwan, where they probably eat a horse. And they go, oh, we had a great time. Look at this video. Wow, amazing.
They
America's
eat horse meat
the best.
in Taiwan?
Probably.
I think they eat horse meat in Japan.
Yeah, they love that shit. They slurp it up.
Yeah, they slurp that shit up.
So that's it. We don't need 50 million of them. We just need a couple to come and go back.
Yeah.
All right. Next is these people. You can explain this part, please.
No, there's nothing to explain here. This is another queer family who acquired some babies or something. And I said, these guys look like they're about to drop the best new podcast of all time.
Yeah.
This is us on a dark timeline.
And then there's someone swapped. Is it you?
No, somebody else.
Someone swapped him out on one of our thumbnails.
And that's how it would look.
That looks exactly like you.
That would be bad.
He has the same shirt like you. He literally looks exactly like you, though. Mine, you can tell it's a weird Photoshop.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, are that man. Same glasses.
I know.
Similar hair. You can make your hair like that. Same neck beard.
I know. I know.
You're cooked.
That's why I did it. Sound effects? You're making
right.
sound
What
effects?
are we doing on time? We're great on
cooked
time.
myself.
Yeah, we knew that was coming. All right, another Bonus Land in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. This isn't Bonus Land. Another fucking Talks in the books.
Yeah, what'd you say?
It's another Bonus Land in the books.
I'm tuning you out by this point.
All right, the show's over. We hope you guys liked it. The debate tonight is going to be lit. Make sure you guys watch that. We'll be covering that on Friday. Bonus Land's going to be sick. If you're still watching and you're not a Bonus Land member, for a few bucks with a free first month, you can get 30 minutes of extra show after every time we post a show. So if the show like this one was an hour and 15 minutes, you get an hour and 45. That's pretty lit.
Yeah.
That's 4 hours of extra show a month.
All right.
I think I sold you.
All right. Wrap it up.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in Bonus Land.
Come on.
One more time.